Picture this. You're on a trip overseas, exploring a new city, making new friends, and then suddenly you get sick. Maybe you woke up sweating with severe stomach cramps despite every effort to avoid food poisoning. Or maybe that little cut that you got on your foot from cliff jumping in the Mediterranean is now clearly infected. Whatever your ailment, you realize that you're gonna have to go see a doctor. Now, instead of planning your next museum visit or a day trip to the local vineyard, you're faced with the stress of finding a doctor in a foreign country where you might not speak the language or know anything about the healthcare industry. How will I find a doctor? Will they speak English? How soon can I get an appointment? And of course, how much is this all going to cost? These were all the questions that popped into my mind when I had to go to the doctor not once, but twice on my recent 2-month backpacking trip in Eastern Europe. I went to the doctor both in Tirana, Albania and Sarajevo, Bosnia and Herzegovina, where I was examined, received lab results, and prescribed medication. Thankfully, this whole process was not nearly as stressful as it has been for me in the United States. So in today's video, I'm sharing my experience finding a doctor, scheduling an appointment, having an exam, being prescribed medication, and of course, how much it all cost. I'll also talk about the health insurance plan that I have as a full-time traveler. This is all based on my personal experience. I am not an expert in international healthcare, so please just take this with a grain of salt. But I really wanted to give you an honest look at what it's like to get healthcare as a traveler in a foreign country. And if you want a closer look at life as a full-time traveler, be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. So before I even needed to go to the doctor, I needed to get international health insurance. And you may or may not need to do this, but because I recently quit my job to travel the world, my health insurance that I had through my employer was coming to an end. While researching, I saw many different companies that were marketing healthcare plans for digital nomads, full-time travelers, and expats. And they really offered a range of coverage based on your specific needs, like how long you'll be traveling, what types of activities you'll be doing, and whether you'll need insurance in the United States. I looked for a plan that would cover me for a full 12 months, that would cover high-risk activities like bungee jumping and skydiving, that would cover me in the United States for a period of time, and also that would provide emergency services like evacuations and repatriation. I found a plan with Cigna that met all of my needs and costs me $173 a month, but I'm not endorsing them as I really have not had enough experience with them to say whether or not they live up to the promises. But I can definitely keep you posted on my experience with them. If that's something that you'd be interested in, just let me know in the comments. So let's talk about how you're actually going to find a doctor abroad when you need one. Call me a millennial, but my favorite way to start the search is by crowdsourcing on Reddit. Start with a simple Google search like this one, and a Reddit thread is sure to pop up where folks are discussing different doctors and hospitals and giving their recommendation for English-speaking foreigners specifically. Once you find the relevant Reddit group, you can also search within there for more recommendations. The top recommendation that I saw in Tirana was the American Hospital, and in Bosnia was Asa Bolnica. So those are the two hospitals that I then looked up on Google to get a full sense of their ratings and reviews from other patients. And then my last step was just confirming that they are in network with my health insurance. And I simply did that by logging into my health insurance's portal and checking there. Once I decided that these hospitals worked for me, I went there in person to ask to be seen by the first available English-speaking doctor. In both instances, I ended up needing to come back the next day because there were no English-speaking doctors available when I went. But for me, that wasn't a big deal. And you can probably book an appointment simply by calling over the phone or scheduling one online, but I just found it easiest to go in person. So once I returned the next day for my appointments, I gave the front desk my passport, and I'm pretty sure that was the only sort of check-in step that I had to take. I didn't fill out any paperwork, I didn't sign any waivers, and nobody even asked me if I had health insurance. I was examined by the doctor no more than 10 minutes after I arrived, which was great and so much faster than what I've experienced in America. And the doctors did speak English, but I was surprised that they were not as fluent as I would have expected. So we did use some Google Translate, but overall we communicated just fine. And now let's talk about how much this cost me. In both instances, I paid at the front desk before I left the hospital. In Tirana, I think I paid about $120. And for the same type of visit in Sarajevo, I paid about $30 or $40. And that's because they gave me a discount for having Cigna health insurance. Something I really appreciated about going to the doctor outside of the US is that I could ask them before my appointment how much the service was going to cost, so I wasn't caught off guard when I had to pay the final bill before leaving. And also, I didn't leave the hospital with the anxiety of receiving a bill in the mail a couple weeks later and not knowing how much it was going to be. My lab results came back 2 days after my appointment, and once I got them, I went back to the hospital for the doctor to handwrite me a prescription on a little piece of paper. So I just got my prescription from the doctor, and now I'm walking right across the street to the pharmacy to get it filled. In Europe, pharmacies are plentiful, so I was easily able to take that piece of paper and get all of my prescriptions filled within minutes. I don't remember exactly how much I paid for all of the medications because I did end up getting a lot, but I believe the total that I paid for all the medications from both of the visits was around $120. So not that cheap, but I mean, I don't know how much it would have cost in the US. And as a side note, some medications that you need a prescription to buy in the United States can just be bought over the counter overseas. So definitely look that up on Google in advance, and maybe you can avoid seeing a doctor altogether. Anyways, that was pretty much my experience. I'd love to know your reactions in the comments, and let me know if you've ever had to visit a doctor overseas. Thanks so much for watching this video. Be sure to subscribe to my channel for an honest look at full-time travel, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!